Hello, this is Julia C. And today's date is December the 21st, 2018. And the time is 4 a.m. in Atlanta, Georgia. And today we're going to talk about moving on after marriage. Now it's gonna be a lot in this session that I will discuss. So, moving on after marriage. So, I'm gonna go to my laptop, and I'm gonna research and I'm gonna take notes. Unfortunately, I didn't do this ahead of time, so you have to bear with me. It's the holidays, so I've been tied up doing other stuff. So, today's topic is gonna be moving on after marriage. To a little after 4 a.m. in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm gonna go here and take notes. Sorry. I have a friend. I have a friend that have this issue, a hard time with moving on after marriage. So I'm just gonna give my advice and my opinion in regards to the matter. Moving on after marriage. So let's see here. I take other people's advice. I read other people's opinions. And I note them and I note mine as well in my memory. But like I said, I haven't researched this one, but I have a friend who had this issue. He don't know how to move on after marriage. So he don't know how to ask me for advice because he's shy. But it's written all over his face when he discuss his issues in regards to when he was married and how he's dealing with things thereafter. So let's take some notes here because I don't have all the answers. I can only. Okay, moving on after marriage. Okay. All right, I have one here. Let me read it and see if this link is accurate. If it's not accurate to me, I won't read it to you. This one says move on after a failed marriage. All right. Hold on here. Okay, are we connected here? All right. Sometime I think that you have to get to know people before you let them in your circle or before you consider any personal lifestyle with the individual. Sometimes it takes 10 years to get to know a person. I know for me it took 10 years to get to know a person before. It took 10 years to officially get to know how they were, um, what they like and dislike. So you have to take that also in consideration. That's another topic when moving into a personal relationship such as marriage. For example, you have to get to know a person. All right. Moving on after marriage. Okay, let me put this here. Moving after marriage. Okay. How to move on after a breakup or term marriage. How to move on after your marriage ends. Let me see what this one says here. I could just go ahead and give you my opinion or my forte of what I think it means. To me, how to move on after your marriage ends. And moving on is the same thing. So let's go here. Let's read on. How to move on after your marriage ends. Some people say fail, whatever it is to you. So, how do you move on from a broken marriage? It's different for everyone, but here are a few things to help you cope, heal, and move on after your marriage leaves. These tips are inspired by readers' comments. One woman says her husband left her for another woman, and he left her for a younger woman. Um, and the wife were betrayed by this woman. All right. Here's what she said. He still calls me to help me with things to get my. She said the wife says the husband still calls her to help her with things to get her advice. She said he talks nice to her, makes her feel good, and then calls her back to tell her, you know, the new girlfriend is helping him and has great ideas about things. Or he has called twice to tell me that he kicked her out of his truck on the road and threw the car. She is too young and blah blah blah. All my friends and family keep telling me to stop taking his calls because all of this is just abusive. And although I agree, okay, so I'm just reading this here. How to move on. Okay, go to the bottom here. It's okay. I just this is interesting. I don't want to read it. I already pretty much know. I can give my advice the best I can in regards to how to or moving on after your marriage ends. All right. So, if you marry a person and you go through the trials and the tribulation in the marriage, it doesn't work out because whatever reason, that's another topic. Because you don't have anything in common or you have too much in common or the finances is not there, it's not equal in the marriage. Whatever reason the marriage ended, you know, for whatever reason it ended, and you dealing with the symptoms, the effects of being married to that person, are you still having withdrawals from you know the marriage ending, and you're going through something, and you're still trying to cope, and the other person already moved on. Really, they know how to deal with the whole situation. They already say, hey, is this way, I'm this way, I accepted who I am, you know um I'm dealing with it. But the other spouse is not, is still, there in the marriage, and still suffering from, coping with the breakup, and don't know how to move on. But the other person, they say it's this way, I'm over it, you know, and I'm moving on, I'm happy, shining, you know, blah, blah, blah. But the other person is still, suffering from things that went on in the marriage, and they bringing it out of the marriage and aggravating you with what went on in the marriage, and how they're feeling now after the marriage, and they don't know how to just say, hey, I'm gonna move on, and keep it moving and stuff like that. But no, everywhere they go into another relationship, they're bringing the problems out of the marriage into their relationships, wanting you to know they're hurt or they're upset because of what happened in the relationship. And they're nagging you all day about how bad they're feeling, and they don't know how to move on. All right, I say, hey, I tell my friend who with this problem, this is what I say. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I try to use sign language, but he act like he don't understand sign language. So I say, hey, look, it's like this. I tell him, I say, the only thing I can do, I keep it real with you. I say, hey, you get to know a person. Sometimes it takes years to get to know a person before you jump the gun. That goes for me too. You know, if I'm getting serious with somebody, I want to get to know them. Even if it consists of living with them, you know what I'm saying, going out with them every day on the regular, you know what I'm saying? You got to be around that person. And that's one thing I learned. Those relationships where you travel here and you travel there don't work for me. It doesn't work for me. I have to be around that person consistently to consider marrying you. I got to get to know you, even if we live together. And sometimes it's best to live together before you marry, to see what you're getting yourself into. And then another thing is where you met this person. My friend said he met the girl on the curb and stuff like that. You met the wife on the curb. I'm not saying something is wrong with that, but look at it really. You met somebody on the curb. I know you like to help people and stuff like that, but there are consequences in the way we go about doing things. So I told him, I said, hey, you want me to know you upset because of your marriage, your ex-wife? You know, that sounds good and dandy, but you are hurting. You know, she probably already accepted who she are. You know, that's her business. But what I am saying is, don't drag that out of the marriage into your other relationships, getting on my nerves with it. You know what I'm saying? Driving me nuts. So I got on here and I said, hey, my topic today is how to move on after your marriage ends or fails or whatever you want to call it. So as a result, of how to move on after your marriage ends is to be careful how you meet or where you meet a person. It could have been a message the way you met one another. This person sitting out here on the curb could be trying to see who is stupid enough to pick me up off the curb and put me in your car and take me home with you. It could have been a test. Don't get upset because you fail in the marriage and drag all that mess out of into the next relationship, aggravating people. You should evaluate the situation. You say you got game, you got all the sense in the world, but you're still hibernating and you're still angry because you have been played. And then the name calling is not going to solve anything. All of the tantrums that you're throwing is not going to solve anything. It's just you're hurting yourself. It's unhealthy. I've been got too. Hey, we all been got, but you learn and you move on and you try to better the next situation. If you're doing that, you're bettering your situation for selfish reasons, for any reason that's not honest, in the next relationship, it's not going to work either. You're wasting your time. And God, if you're a senior citizen and you still with that crap, hey, it's on you. It's your time, not mine. And then another thing is, that's another topic. So a lot I want to put here, but I can save it for another topic. And then, don't waste your time. Your time is precious, and time isn't your friend. Time is precious. Time isn't your friend. It keeps moving. It doesn't wait for us. So how to move on after your marriage ends. And you got to tell yourself these things that I'm telling you. Okay? Watch. Next time, watch where and how you meet people. That's why I'm still single. I do a lot of dating, but I am single because I'm learning, all the tricks of the trade. I'm still learning from the guys and things like that. But when he told me how he met her, I already knew it was a problem. I said, hey, buddy. I didn't tell him directly, but I tried to use sign language and show him. I say, you must like drama or something. And you can't handle it because the way, and then you nagging me, about after you pick this person up off the curb, you've been married to this person for 10 years or what have you. Then it don't work out. Then you want to go and nitpick about trying to justify, and then there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Don't try to prettying it up. Hey, you like drama you can't handle. You met this person. I'm not talking about everybody. I'm just using this one as a sample. The way you met the person, you met them on a curb. You brought them you gave them a home. You gave them shelter. And then they turn around and do stuff in so many words to say, hey, you're not who I wanted to do this for me. You're really not the one I wanted to do. I couldn't do nothing but be honest. And he, wants to stab me in my back for being honest. I said, well, hey, okay. I'm just going to keep it real. People don't want to, Hey, they do things for a reason. Maybe you wasn't the person they wanted to help. They want to help them, you know. And they're angry because of that. I tried to explain to him, maybe this is what's happening. I didn't say this is what's happening, but I said maybe this is the problem. I'm a woman too, you know. And I said, hey, maybe, baby, you know, you're not the one she really wanted to pick her up off the curb. She had some other guy in mind. She wanted to, and she hates you for that. She don't respect you for that. And then some people can act out, what they see you as. It's not that they're that way, you know. It's just they're acting out to let you know this is what I see you as, and you don't motivate me at all. I feel like this, and they regret what they do. Some people regret the children. Some people regret the house, the cars. They're not really happy when they're sleeping. So I say, hey, get to know a person. Be careful where you meet people. I'm still single. I have 3 children. I'm 42 years old. I've been around, well-rounded. Okay. So, how to move on after marriage is you take those in consideration and you meditate on it and you evaluate the way you meet someone, where you met them at, and how they see you and perceive you. It may take 5 years for you to see this in that person. It may take 10 years for you to catch on to that person. I learned this. Take time to get to know a person, because a smiling face really ain't smiling all the time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, a sad face really don't mean a person is sad all the time. You have to be careful in this life what we do, how we go about doing things, and get to know each other. Sometimes, like I say, you might have to move in an apartment with a person 6 months to a year. You live in a 1 bedroom with your spouse, and you hang around them and quit traveling everywhere. Get to know who you living with, because you don't know who you be living with. Come to find out, you living with somebody and you don't know where these people come from. They're sleeping over your children. How people coming into your house, sleeping over your children, selling them, doing all kind of things. I've heard it all, almost. I'm not gonna say I heard it all, but almost. So you have to get to know people, because like I said, you don't know who you. Some things that happened to me, I don't want to swallow. That I've dated people and I don't want to swallow it. What happened? What they found out what they were doing. I knew these people for 5 years, 10 years. Come to find out, they don't prefer no woman. They really were talking about a man. You thought the whole time they wanted a woman, they wanted a man. I had that relationship too. So, yeah, you have to take some of this stuff into consideration. I have 5 minutes to go here. I know this is a good session here. But the topic may not stand out, but this session sounds pretty good, huh? Yeah, I tried to find something that sounds out, but I'll do the how to move on after your marriage ends. Yeah, so you have to get to know the person, get to know, be careful where you meet them. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning as well. So I'm single. I was married also. Nothing serious. I wasn't in I wouldn't call it. I would say I was in just a marriage. It wasn't legit. But I've been in long-term relationships. I have 3 children. I have 19-year-old, 21-year-old, and I have an 8-year-old. So, and I'm not perfect. And be careful where you meet these people. I don't want to stick to this one. So one issue here. I learned some people don't like to be don't really they do things for a reason. They really don't want help. Maybe they want help from a particular person. They don't want help from you. You're not good enough. It's an insult to them for you to help them or you to pursue them. Who are you? So they'll take advantage of you. Your financial status. They're taking it wrong with it. They don't appreciate it. And they dare you to help them. Who are you? They don't prefer you to help them. They spit on you for that. And they start acting out. Hey, I feel like I'm a loser because I settle for you. Saying this is what I think of you. You know. And you have people they have sex with these children. They over the kid. You don't know who's in your house. Be careful who you bring into inside your room. It's a lot of retarded people out here. I mean, really retarded. Sick. You know. So what I want to put in. And come to find out. You know. And and then your and then another thing, you also have to you know be careful who you meet. I mean, go to the clinic, get a checkup. You can be with a person, come to find out they ain't clean. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So yeah, get to know a person. Um, and you can take these in consideration for you people who need to know how to move on after your marriage ends. Take notes, some of this, and take it with you into the relationship. Next relationship, evaluate the relationship before you jump in. I know we want to jump in because we are looking for something. But if you out and about and you're looking for something, other than the truth, realness, you know, then you wasting your time. Don't complain about it. If you playing games, what are you complaining for? If it's all just a game to you, what are you getting on people's nerves for? If all that you are doing is out here just playing games, why are you bugging me about your marriage that failed? Move on. Do you need to know how to move on after your marriage has failed? I can give you my advice. Be careful where you meet people. I chat lines, hey, eat off the street at a gas station, at a restaurant, library, you know, anywhere. Watch where you meet a person. Evaluate them. Evaluate them. Just because they're in these places don't mean it's all good. So if you're out just playing a game and you're wasting your time and you don't have much time, you psyched out or whatever, you in fantasy land, little things like that. I know, hey, I can only come to you from the heart. I don't know no other way to put it. So, anyway, how to move on after your marriage. Take note, and before you date, you can play this back and you can peep the individual, and see if they're in it for your best interests. I'm not trying to make you feel bad or kill you, really. So I am Julia C. I shall return with another session.